What is up, guys? Geeks of the West here. I want to talk about some awesome, geeky scientific news that I just read. It's from SciTech Daily, and the article is called "NASA thrusters propelled by new green propellants complete milestones." So, just to read a little bit on it. NASA is testing thrusters propelled by green propellants that can provide better performance without the toxicity while helping to lower costs by eliminating infrastructure needed for handling toxic fuels. To stay in the proper orbit, many satellites have thrusters, small rocket engines that fire to change altitude or orientation of space. On Earth, where gravity dominates, 5 pounds of thrust, equivalent to 22 newtons of force, may seem small, but in space, it doesn't take much thrust to move a large spacecraft. Okay, so I think that is pretty damn cool. um, Oh my gosh, this is amazing, guys. You don't understand. Even if you don't believe in global warming, I'm not a huge advocate for global warming. I am a skeptic. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. So I'm skeptic about global warming, but I'm not ignorant to the fact that it is a possibility and that climate does change. And how much carbon dioxide or pollutants affect global climate change or global warming, global cooling is beyond me, but I believe it doesn't take that much because of how little carbon dioxide is actually in the atmosphere and how big of changes or how quick and little the changes are compared to how much carbon dioxide is released in the air. So I'm no expert on that, but that is just my explanation. And look, I know the propellants that they're talking about are the ones that are used to change orbit or change space travel. But the thing is the more advanced you get in green technology and make it more efficient and more useful, the more overall it'll help. Because say 200 years into the future, when this is more developed, maybe 20 to 30% of launch fuel will be green, will be the same substance or different substance used to launch a spacecraft into space, reducing the carbon dioxide it releases by 20 to 30%. And you see, global warming, other than that, if you don't believe it, look, you don't have to believe it. I'm a skeptic about it. But just look like on the, on the bright side, or just look at it this way, is whether or not you believe in carbon dioxide, pollutants are a thing that is evident from man-made sources, whether that be fuel, garbage, whatnot. Pollutants are a real threat that may or may not affect global warming, but they do affect life. They do affect life. So to say that global warming is not real, so who gives a shit? That's not the point. Pollution is the point because look, toxic wastes are toxic. Okay, it doesn't have to affect the global climate in order for it to be dangerous. So just think about that the next time you want to go fishing and there's no fish left in the fucking sea, or animals that we hunt and eat are dying because of pollution, or animals that are food to certain animals we eat, and or it's all just a long chain of life, the ecosystem, blah blah blah. I'm not going to go into detail, as I'm not reading from a script, so I'm just pulling this from the top of my head and trying to speak as quickly as I can and trying to get as much information out as I can in just a short period of time. I will link this article in the description, and this is cool, guys, because listen, not only if we could figure out, say for example, we figure out how to design our engines to run just as good as they do now in fossil fuels, but make them run that good on green energy, imagine how well those engines will run in the future on fossil fuels. Do you get what I'm saying? So say your car gets 30 miles, or theoretically, say a car in the future gets 100 miles per gallon. I know that's fucking crazy, but just say 100 miles per gallon on fossil fuel, on gasoline. Say we work on green technology to get it to run that good on something like, I don't know, like vegetable oils or whatever. You know, shit that's not very pollutant. Say we could get it up to the engine to get up to 100 miles per gallon on that. Imagine how much better we can make our engines run on fossil fuels. Does that make sense? Because the cars that we have now that are green, that don't run as good or aren't as quick or last as long as cars on fossil fuels do. Just look at how fossil fuel cars were 60 to 80 years ago. Cars are better now running on the same fuels they did fucking 60 to 80 years ago. So just think about that. As technology improves in one aspect, it will improve in another aspect. Thank you. That's my take on it. Watch my other videos, subscribe, and have a good one.